Hello there and welcome back to the Zero Credentials F1 podcast, where I'm here with Nelly, and today we are going to be discussing the Canadian Grand Prix 2025. A little preview, some predictions, and all the latest news running up to this weekend's F1 Bonanza. So let's roll the intro and then we'll get straight into it. So, Nelly, how's things? Not seen you for a couple of weeks.
I know, it feels odd. It's been a weekly thing. We had a triple header to start ourselves off, pretty much. Yeah. So, yeah, good.
Yeah, it was fun, that triple header, I think. But I think, probably for the drivers as well, it's nice to have a bit of a break. But I thought we'd start with the big news of the week. Do you know what it is?
I'm not sure. Go.
Lance Stroll is back.
They've made back up. Daddy Stroll must have kissed his little poly finger and made him feel much better.
He walked him to the doctors so he could have his hand. Come on, Lance, we've got to go to the doctors.
Daddy, my finger hurts. I can't drive the big car.
Did you hear that there was rumours flying around that there was a fracas in the Aston Martin garage? And the rumour is that he punched a wall, and that's why his hand has had a baddie.
Well, that's a baddie. Well, that just fulfills the prophecy of him being a bit of an idiot, to be fair. Walls don't move out the way. Punch somebody or a thing or a tyre or something that's soft, something that's going to give way, especially if you're an EPO child who's been brought up with all the best things in life and never had a fight in your life. So, yeah, good luck to you, Lance.
It makes me chuckle every time you call him an EPO baby.
Prove me wrong. Lance.
I was watching the F1 podcast, the Sky Sports one, and Crofty was saying that whilst Aston Martin had sort of strongly refuted the allegations that he'd punched a wall, he'd heard from a decent source that a helmet was thrown with such force that damage was caused to the helmet.
Well, I mean, if it's good to know that regardless of your talent or your ability in the F1 scene, the ability to throw a paddy in the pits will allow you to keep your seat for as long as you need it. So I hope the rest of the paddock is taking note.
We're still a young and growing channel. I'm not sure if we have any Canadian fans yet. I would love to hear from. I'd love to hear from them though, to know if they're excited to have Lance Stroll racing in his home race.
Yeah. What's it all about? I mean, it's Montreal, isn't it? And it's the it's the French end of things, isn't it? In Canada.
Yeah, Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where Lance hails from in terms of Canada, but I'd love to hear what the Canadians actually thought of him. Because,
mate, have you not looked into it? Like, have you not read his backstory? Is he not someone of interest that you pay loads of attention to?
Oddly, I mean, I know that he's he's a superb Canadian export, and everyone immediately loves
Lewis Hamilton's
everything he does.
Lewis Hamilton is from Stevenage, and Charles Leclerc is from Monaco. We've got George Russell from Norfolk. I know quite a few.
Lance Stroll can get back in the bin or the sea, whichever he came on. I'm not entirely sure which one, but he can get back to it. But yeah, I mean, your natural instinct, and this is why I'd love to know from the Canadians if they have got a soft spot for him, because instinctively, you've always got a soft spot, regardless of who's racing. You've always got a soft spot for your native or the closest to your native countryman.
I mean, I'm unequivocally biased when it comes to that.
Oh, without that, yeah,
without British drivers all day long.
There's a huge part of me that loves that, even though most of the teams wave different flags and symbols on them, was it 80% of them are based in a Midlands belt in the UK.
Yeah, pretty much within a few
we are where
miles
the
of
technology, the engineering, we're just where it's at, and that's a huge source of pride.
Yeah, it is big time. I thought before we upset our international fans too much, I thought what we could do before we get into this week's predictions is take a look, because we're between a third and halfway through the season now. I thought we could take a look at maybe the top 6 or 7 drivers.
Yeah.
And just have a little kind of quick evaluation on each one. See how you think they're doing, where you think they're going for the rest of the season. Because there's gaps opening up a little bit. There's things happening. We're into the season nicely now. So I think it'd be nice
a miniature ranking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me just get the top.
And I did say ranking. I don't want to alienate any Far East viewers that we may have as well.
Right. So let's just start at the top. Let's start with Oscar Piastri. What do you think?
Great season so far. He's laid his marker down, hasn't he?
Yeah, big time.
I've been looking over a few of the races from last season, and there was an air of tentativeness about him. Maybe still getting used to the car, who knows? But he's come out guns blazing, really, isn't it? He's showing Max no respect. He's showing Lando no respect in terms of the battles that we've seen on the track. So no, I'm really pleased for the lad. I hope he does well. Not so well as to pull the rug away from Lando, because I'd still love to see a British champion.
Yeah, that's a good point, because in preparation for each one of these recordings we've done, I've looked at last year's race of the equivalent race, and Oscar was kind of behind. He was running 4th or 5th in a lot of those races.
Yeah.
He was being outpaced by Lando almost every single time, and that's gone. That is gone, hasn't it?
Lando's firmly looking over his shoulder now.
Yeah, I think Canada, he's still. I mean, he didn't do that particularly well last year.
It seemed to be a turning point for McLaren. That was one of the points that they started to perform, because they were a bit slow to start the season, which is why Lando didn't quite get it towards the end of the season. But no, I mean, if it came down to ranking of failed, performed, or overperformed, that lad's overperformed this year from where I expected. Maybe I was being unfair, but from where I expected, he's overperformed.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. With Lando in number 2, this weekend, I don't think it's particularly a spoiler for anyone. I just can't see that McLaren pace being beaten this weekend.
No. Something seriously amazing would have to happen. I love Montreal. It's a great circuit, and it always kicks up a really exciting race. This is one where the Mercs have historically shone, even when they were struggling. Last year they did pretty well, certainly in quali.
Yeah, that's true.
And quite sadly, I wanted it to throw up a wet race, because the Canadian wet races are absolutely exceptional. But there's no sign of rain this weekend, which is fine. We'll have a nice dry straight race. But last year was extremely wet, threw up all sorts of stuff, and then we'll pick it up one day, I'm certain. But Jenson Button 2011, what a race! That was probably the last time I can remember literally like jumping up and down on the couch.
Was it
screaming
2011?
for joy.
Was it
Yeah,
2012?
I believe. Oh no, maybe
20?
it'll be around. There.
Definitely one of those two. Yeah. So, do you think Lando is going to come back this week? Do you think Oscar's got the edge now?
He needs to keep his championship on track. Oscar's. There are only a few points, but they're the margins between first and second, and realistically, that's what we're looking at for the rest of the season. Max will be there or thereabouts, but to keep it a 2-horse race, and then they need to be sort of overtaking one another in points, not necessarily on the track, and that's where, to keep it interesting for everybody else, we just need to see that race bubble under, and so we sort of need Lando to win this week, or certainly come ahead of Oscar.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I just watching last year's race, he was kind of chasing around behind Max for most of the time, and he had opportunities to get in front and never really took it. And I worry that's going to happen this year, but with Oscar, because like I said, I think the McLaren pace is mighty. Max is next. He's 3rd in the championship. I reckon. I mean, he's won, I think, 4 times in a row in Canada now. Is that right?
Yeah.
I can't quite remember.
It's got to be close to that, because it was basically, it used to be just Lewis and then just Max. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's true of pretty much every track at the moment.
Historically, yeah. when they've how many? They've got 11 between them, haven't they? 11
Something
titles
like
between them.
Something
8. Lewis
like
has got 8.
Yeah, and fourth.
No, Lewis has got 8.
Yeah, the maths. What?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Max, he's wrung the neck of that motor. We keep saying it. He's driving spectacularly. As much as I question his personal attributes and his temperament, his driving style, standard, expertise is absolutely unquestionable. And respect to him for that.
I was after the joyous entertainment of the last race in the last few laps after Max did what he did. The crybabies who were demanding sanctions against him. Oh, God, what is wrong with people? It was so fun. Like what? Like, and he was punished with a 10-second penalty, which lost him nearly all his points, apart from one, I think. And it's like, what do you want to have happen to him? Like, he's on the verge of a ban from the point. I think the points he got was the points on his license were fair enough as well. He's 1 point away from a ban now, which adds a bit of extra spice to him having to behave himself. Yeah. But like, what do they want to have happen to him?
It gets. I mean, like, what was it?
Are you not entertained?
I'm very, very entertained. Actually, you want it to be of a bit of a sort of WWF backstory. I'm showing my age now. WWF backstory, and a bit of bite and a bit of aggro to it, because it just makes it all that bit more exciting. But what was it? Social? I don't do much on social media, but I noticed a hashtag which made me vomit, which was #EthicalWheel. What the fuck is that? And it was examples of how you overtake people and not cause a massive crash or not tear the arse out of another car. I like all of that.
That's me too. That sums up so much why I'm not on social media anymore. Like it's just
utter
that
garbage.
is just like it was. Yeah, I can't.
I mean, who wants that title? I am the most ethical driver in F1. I will overtake you in the most ethical way possible. Fuck that. Just get past them. It just adds spice. I just love the spice. I love the drama. I love the theatre.
100%. I want it to remain a sporting event.
Yeah.
But the fun and stuff, the little bits of drama and narrative and story, that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's why we watch.
That type of thing, generally, it's like penalties and VR and everything else. If you get a bad decision or you get hard done by in one race, it generally evens out over the season.
Yeah.
In terms of what you dish out, you generally get in return. So I don't think it's ever actually turned a season around.
That is the wrestling narrative as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you get your comeuppance in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Karma, bitch. You get all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Let's move on very quickly to George Russell. There was... I want George to be doing better than he is.
He's Mr. Consistent.
I'm just not particularly excited about anything he's doing at the moment. No. He's there and thereabouts, isn't he, all the time? But
I keep thinking back to the was it Lewis was ill or something, and they got George in,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and he covered that race and should have won the race, and did an absolute barnstormer of a race and just looked like this was my chance and I'm going to take it and I'm going to absolutely thrash it and I'm going to leave it all out there, and he absolutely did. And I want to see that George again.
Yeah, that was funny because they put in the pit stop, they put Bottas's tyres on George's car, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, you got to come back in. Oh no.
Yeah, and the worst conspiracists would think, they did that on purpose because there'll be something in Lewis's contract where you can't have the reserve driver win in my car or something like that.
They're the same people that want Max Verstappen to be banned or have some sort of serious sanction done to him, aren't they?
Yeah.
Probably, to be honest, probably like Team LH or something, isn't it?
He's not quite as strong as Phil, George, so far. He's definitely performed. I still think they've got a relatively weak car under them. I think this weekend's a great chance for them to see what the Mercedes has got, because it seems to be their design ethos seems to fit a circuit like this. So you'll see here and Budapest where the Mercedes really is.
It'd be interesting to see what Kimi does as well, but I'm not expecting a huge amount from them at the moment.
No.
Ferrari, what do you think? What do you think of them this week? We'll just cover them at the same time.
Well, I haven't placed them in my prediction. Yeah, not good. Not a good start. Seriously, getting to terms with. They've clearly taken the car in a new direction in terms of design concept. It must be more familiar to Charles than it is to Lewis. I'm slightly starting to worry that they'll start to pivot it towards Lewis's driving style and throw the baby out with the bathwater all in one go. I don't know. I'm disappointed because I want to see Lewis do well in a Ferrari and with the prancing horse. But if anything, they feel like they've taken a step back this season.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's hard not to sort of think this is kind of a make or break period for Lewis, isn't it? Because it's coming into a bunch of European tracks after Canada that he just absolutely loves. And it's personally, it's my favourite part of the season. I think Canada's a great race usually. Then we've got
British Grand Prix,
Silverstone and Austria, and there's just some brilliant races. Italy in Monza, just fantastic tracks. I mean, Hungary obviously throws up a boring race now and again, but just so exciting. I just really want Ferrari to be there in the mix and not running like 4th, 5th, 6th. I know Charles got third in the last time out, but I think that flattered Ferrari. Yeah. I think it was actually
they make the sport better when they're up there and they're competing. And maybe it's greedy as looking for 4 teams in the mix. We've got 2 at the moment with sort of Red Bull and McLaren. Merck should be somewhere nearby. Ferrari, you want to be somewhere nearby. I just like a bit more breadth to it, but I don't know if we're being greedy there. But yeah, it feels like underperformance. I hope they can turn it around for the second half of the season. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Lewis win one race. I mean, he's starting to get in his head at the moment. He's starting to really be. I mean, I love him pieces, but he's one of the annoyances I used to have, even as a fanboy, was his unquenchable positivity at all times. Yeah. And even that's starting to sort of fade on him in a big way.
I don't know if you saw in the week, it popped up on my YouTube feed, the race from several years ago where I think Lewis must have won, but the seagulls ended up on the track.
All right.
And Sebastian Vettel was complaining about the seagulls and that Lewis just drove straight towards the seagulls as someone who claims to be an... But this all was happening in an interview with Simon, just sort of around the paddock. And Lewis was so chatty. They were chatting for about 6 minutes. And Vettel was there as well, and they were having a load of banter. And I was like, at first I thought, when I watched it, because I don't think I've ever seen it before, I thought, like, is this a lucky like?
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was obviously him. And that I want to see that Lewis again.
Yeah.
Full of banter, like willing to... I mean, I get how famous he is and he might not want to talk to the press all the time, but like...
He's at risk of taking himself too seriously now, though, isn't he? With all of his... all of his off... I mean, I have much less sympathy for his off-track antics.
He probably always has taken himself that seriously, but he used to win.
So, so good back it up.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't like talking like that, but there we go.
But in terms of, just to step back 1 second on the McLarens, and this is an open question to you: are we getting to the point where they're so close to one another that they're going to start taking each other out and those sort of things? Because that seems to be the natural progression. Lewis did it with Nico. The 2 Red Bulls did it when they were ahead. Yeah, that's really that's good sport, that, isn't it? Yeah, when they both got their head in the hands in a gravel pit with half a car smashed against the wall, and each other's tyre marks on each other's side pods. So yeah.
Shall we have a look at some predictions?
Let's predict it.
Before we do though, I need to. This is not sponsored in any way just yet. We are open to sponsorships at some point, but I need. Have you been using SodaStream again?
No, go for it.
I need to open it to fill my glass back up, but It's so nice.
Is it excessively fizzy, as I recall it? Like more than any other normal carbonated drink?
I mean, it depends how. You don't have to fill it up. You don't have to press the button so many times, but I do.
I've already got one mode on that.
Saturated, full bore or nothing.
Yeah. Empty one bottle of gas on the entire on half a litre. Yeah.
Right, I think let's get the. Oh, there's Lance going to the doctors again. I think we need to take a look at the scores so far first. So let me bring them up.
If we must.
And you can see these now, can't you?
I can.
We've been saying quite a few times now that it feels like luck, like it's just an absolute lottery.
Yes.
But if this sort of trend continues, how long are we going to keep calling it luck?
It's just blind. It's rolling the dice. Nobody could possibly predict anything. The scores are meaningless, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, if one guy scores on every race so far, I mean, is
embarrassingly it adds. Well, yeah, if one scores the full 5 in the prediction and the
it could go either way.
In the poll, you can rack up some really tasty points very quickly, and rather embarrassingly, but actually I don't care. I'm just going to say it. I do sit and watch the race. It's added an element of spice, and I do an absolute fist pump every time that I'm in a place to score a point. Love it.
It has. It's definitely added some extra. It's like when you play fantasy football, isn't it? And you watch the football and you think like it adds that extra bit. There's got to be something we can do there as this channel grows to like create some sort of like thing for the people to get
absolutely
predictions as
compare their predictions and let's see that everybody watches this is better at predicting F1 F1 outcomes than any of us. That would be predictable. I would predict that everyone else is better than us.
F1 do run a fantasy F1, but I don't want to be involved in that.
It seems a bit involved.
Right, let's without further ado. Actually, we need to mention that White's got off the mark this week, as you can see there. He scored his first point in Spain.
Who was that? Oh, of course, yeah.
I think it was George Russell, wasn't it?
It was George.
Came in 4th or something. Right, okay. I'll go first this week. So you can see there, I've gone Lando Norris for pole because I still think his 1-lap pace is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He goes well around here, so around Canada. So I think
decent shout.
But I don't think by turn 2 or 3, that little chicane, I don't think he's going to be in the lead anymore.
No.
I think Oscar is. Because I think it was a couple of years ago last
year. I like that. But yeah.
Oscar was pretty aggressive in that little chicane bit.
What do you think he's going to barge him or just get a better jump?
Just clean, nice clean racing. I think that. And then
is this one of those tracks as well where the pole position isn't actually on the racing line? It might be.
I can't actually.
Yeah.
It's on the outside, isn't it? So you can get a run down to turn 1.
Oh, well, it must be. Yeah, it must be the advantage.
But then turn 2, you're back on the outside again, aren't you? So, and then George, I don't really know why I put George in 3rd.
Just hope.
I mean, it's not even that because, like I said, I just lost. George hasn't inspired me much recently, but I think what it is what you talked about, like that Mercedes pace coming back on a track it seems to enjoy. Simple as that. Number 4, Max Verstappen. Again, I'm not quite sure why I've written Max off like that because he's mighty around here.
Do so at your peril. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Lewis, just because, again, he goes well around here as well. Last couple of years, he's been in the top 5. I just
he did well. He did well last year. And seemed to qualify well.
5th place is a complete lottery at the moment. So there we go. Should we do? Should we do?
Oh, before you move on? Can I just acknowledge as well that in the spirit of absolute fairness and the fact that we rinsed you last time that we did it for not posting yours when me and Whites submitted our predictions to our chat, that you came up first and you showed your hand.
Yeah.
So any any inference of jiggery pokery or foul play is completely out of the door. These are legitimate points if you win points. He didn't just look at ours and steal the best ideas that we had.
Yeah, I'm giving you a chance this week. I'll show you the winning hand, and then you can copy it.
So it's much appreciated.
Okay, let's. I think it's White's next. So he's gone with Oscar Piastri on pole position, and then in the race, Oscar first, same as me. Lando Norris second, Max third, George fourth. I think I should have gone for that. Actually, I think that's a better shout.
Mm.
And then he's gone wild card with
that is a wild card.
Nico Hülkenberg on the basis that the Kick Sauber pace is back. He obviously got fifth in the last race, but that's not as daft as it may initially seem, because I don't think the Sauber pace is quite there yet, but Nico Hülkenberg's pace is underrated.
He's doing well with that motor. But yeah, I've got a similar theory, but in reverse, because the Sauber's a Ferrari engine, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
And I've not rated them to do too well this weekend, which probably means that they'll podium, the pair of them, because I've put them nowhere near.
And then let's move on to yours. You can talk me through it.
Yeah. So Lando, absolutely. I think we need it for the season for Lando to step up. Unfortunately, that means a bit of a procession, because I think Lando, Oscar, and Max, in order of race result, that's how they'll qualify as well. And so I think in the front few will be a bit of a procession.
I wouldn't be surprised if those three disappear.
Run away, yeah.
And then there's a big gap to fourth.
And then, I have a bit of a wild card in as well. I mean, George Russell, I think he needs to do something, and he's been Mr. Consistent this season. So that's probably me just trying to throw a banker for a point in. I think he's the one who made me score the other week. So
I mean,
I want him to do well.
All three of us, though, are giving Mercedes a chance this weekend.
We absolutely are, yeah.
I think me and you for the last couple of times we haven't. So
no, it's always done well. And on a very similar notion to Nico's insertion there, I need Carlos to do something. And based on the fact that they have the Mercedes engine in that Williams, I want to see him come forward. Although he had a DNF last year, didn't he? So although the weather played a factor with that, but I want Carlos to do well. That's hope or luck more than judgment, that fifth place there.
I think it's an interesting shout. It's definitely going to add some spice to watching the race. That Mercedes has not been particularly reliable on its engine recently, though, has it?
Blown a few of them up.
And there's a long couple of, that long straight maxes the engine out, doesn't it, all the way down to the sort of last chicane.
Yeah. It's long straights, maximum revs, and heavy, heavy, heavy braking zones as well. So
big time.
I think it's fairly temperate in terms of 22 degrees for the actual race and quali. So shouldn't put the brakes under too much stress, but they'll still have the biggest anchors on that they've got in the toolkit. And but it's purely on the fact that Carlos likes a fast car, and if they've got the Merc engine and the Merc engine's performing well, I think they'll do all right.
Yeah, I would go with that. I think there's going to be a big haul of points this week. I think the scores are going to be closer than they are at the moment.
I'm not confident that now I see my what you can do now is go and put your mortgage on Ferrari.
Don't get nervous,
because I put them nowhere near. Yeah, I'm not nervous, brother.
He's getting a little bit nervous,
maybe a little bit. But it's a great race. I love this track. They've absolutely one of the few tracks that have absolutely nailed where the DRS zone is in both sections. It gives you just enough to do the overtake without being ridiculous or completely ineffective. So some nice hairpins, some broad sweep. You'll see some overtakes. You'll see some really, really frequent overtakes, especially on that long straight before the hairpin or the bus stop.
I'm proper excited again, and it's in the UK at least, it's on a Sunday evening, which is always quite pleasant.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a bit of Sunday daytime to do our other duties.
Yeah, indeed. Shall we commit to the people now, the people watching? Shall we commit to a time that we're going to record our post-show race so people know?
What time's the actual race?
The race is at 7, so we
finish by 9.
Do you want to do 15? You want to commit to everyone that we'll record 15 minutes after the?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll get it out Sunday night, and within 15 minutes of that checkered flag going down, we will be recording this.
Yeah, get that honest, the big honest,
clueless
post-race,
clueless, imbecile, completely ill-informed. That's just what you want. That's
we're the companions. We're the companions to the race weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do comment more, share your opinions. Tell us when we've got it right, which will be very rare. But tell us when we've got it wrong, which might be a little bit less rare.
Yeah, definitely get involved and subscribe and tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends. What's not to like?
Join us from the beginning of this epic journey.
Yeah, getting at the front end.
Right, cool. We'll see you on Sunday night or whenever it is in your time zone. And yeah, enjoy the race weekend.
Thanks, everyone. See you Sunday.
Bye.